it's over. I've been staying at Cycad Garden Stay. Little did I know that's where I'd be staying when it all happened. I met this nice couple down the beach and invited me back. I was going to come back here and stay for a night and be on my way, and come over and offered me to stay the whole wet season. Hey, how life pans out. I was not expecting that, and it's been unreal. A little bit sad now actually, because I've been here for so long. Anyway, but I've packed up, on our way. Gonna jet off. Gonna still hang around the NT for a little bit. There's another spot I want to head out to, so I might go out there and pull up there for a bit. Got to explore so much of Dundee Beach. It's really nice out here. If you're planning to come out here. Plenty of spots to stay. This is one, Cycad Garden Stay. But there are, you know, heaps of spots out here you can pull up, stump. I'd suggest head down to the lodge for a beer or Sand Palms, wherever you're close to. But yeah, 2 good spots. Go suss out stingray heads, have a look down there. Go for a fish. I did good on the fishing out here. Hey, it's been brilliant. What a wet season. Again, if you're watching Chris and Said, thanks heaps. It's been magnificent. It's been a really nice spot to stay. I loved it. And to everyone who come through, it's good catching up with everyone. Few sore heads, but it was well worth it. Some nice people out there. Oh then guys, that's me. Till next time. Oh yeah, I got him. Oh nice. Well, pulled up again. So probably a month or so ago now, I got a message on Facey from a fella saying if I wanted a spot to pull up and hang out, yeah, give him a bell. He's got a place I could go to. So that's handy to know. Yeah, and then only the other day I got some good news. So that's the reason why I'm going to head out to Gunpoint Beach, but that's another story. But till then I got a week or so to kill, so I thought, oh, I might, you know, contact him again and see how it goes. And he goes, yeah mate, thanks a million man, because this is gonna suit Dodge and I to a T, just for us to unwind a bit and yeah, repack stuff and get it ready, and then I can head out to the beach. But this is magnificent as well. Good little spot to hang out. Dodge has found a nice little water hole, which I'll show you later. She's having a dip in a safe spot. But yeah, I'm just gonna, because she doesn't help set up, you know, I'm not gonna set up much, just opening up a few things. But yeah, loves it. Good girl. One of a few spots you can swim in the NT. And I still looked just in case. Well, I did set up more than I thought I was going to. Reason being is I've had it pretty good at Cycad Garden Stay, so I haven't had to set everything up for the season, for the wet season. Still stayed in the trailer and everything, but yeah, there was a lot of things I didn't have to use because I had it all there. So while I'm in a good area, it's like anything. Use something forever and it'll go forever. As soon as you stop using it, it'll get the shits with you and possibly, yeah, something will go wrong with it. I've set mostly everything up that I would when, you know, I'm back in it full time. Just to make sure everything's working and stuff like that. All the main stuff anyway. The only thing I really don't have set up is like the walls of the camper. But the walls are okay because I took them out through the wet season, gave them a good wash, hung them up, aired them out, sprayed them and that, so they'll be all right when I need them. The only reason why I use them in this time of the season is just if it gets real cold, just to help, you know, petition it off and a bit of warmth in there for us, especially Dodge and that. But yeah, other than that, everything else is pretty much set. So far it's all good. Give you a quick look around. Just in here, obviously I just run 2, fridge and a freezer, or vice versa. You know, I can have both freezer or both fridge, whatever. I go the 2 instead of a combi because if one stuffs up, I can use the other one. So I'd hate to have a freezer full of food and the only one fridge I've got is a combi and it stuffs up, well then, you know, I've just lost all my food. So that's why I run 2. They're 40 litres too. I did do this. I've only been running the 40 litres probably for the last 2-3 years, but I did do it for a long time running 30s. So that's still, you know, you can pack a lot of food into especially when you're using it as a freezer. If you make them right, bag them up, you know, separate all your food, and you know, you stack it right, you can fit a lot of food. Bit of a pigsty at the moment because I have got new stuff that I'm working with and like stuff like that, so I've rearranged things and it's never ending. It really is never ending. No matter how many times you think you have the perfect thing, it's never going to be perfect. It's going to work for you, but then you'll figure out something else and, you know, oh, I'll change that, see if that works. It's all the fun and it's good. It keeps me occupied. But I did say in one of the other videos, I am trying my best. Say what you want to say, I don't care. But I do want to try and go induction for the camper. So much more practical. Look, I don't think I'll go total gas free because I will possibly always carry one of your little single gas burners or even smaller, something smaller, because I like doing me quad trips and boat trips. Because like I run the Bromwick, the wok cooker. Best thing, you know, I like cooking on gas, but I think now not having to pull up, refill gas, stuff like that, not worrying about it, you know, it's just now as a matter of running an extension lead and hooking an induction cooker. I've had to change a few things up, you know, possibly if I'm cooking like rice, pastas, stuff like that, that can take a bit of power out. I might cook them through the day while there's still sunlight out, just little things like that. I might have to change it up a bit, but when it's windy like this, look, I've got no hope in hell trying to cook on that wok cooker out here at the moment when she's blowing, but old induction, it's a no-brainer for me. And I've got enough to set up, trust me. It's like a hybrid. It can be the easiest camp setup or it can be the hardest. Not the hardest, but there is a bit to it when I'm fully set up and the bike's off and the boat's off and, you know, the trailer for the boat, just everything. I've got to do all this. Dodge don't. So yeah, where I can go like make things easier, I'm going to make them easier. But yeah, anyway, I've got the pantry up in there, so that's where a lot of the food and stuff goes. Up above, like I said, it's been changed up a bit, bits and pieces. This is the cooking bench. Best thing about it's all alley, can be hosed off. I can put hot pans, hot pots, hot anything on it. It's just practical. Over this side, obviously I've got to go head out and get a bit of firewood because I've got no firewood. I've got to go and cut some up my old wood-fired stove. So with I've got a video on it, so I will probably do a what do you call it, like a view it for you, so review on it. But yeah, I dig that thing. To be honest, when it's going, I just cook on that. I cook on that so many times now. It's just so practical for me. Over here's the bed. I've got rundowns on all like this sort of stuff, guys, so I can't think what video it was, but I know I've got the measurements and got a full-on sleeper cab, I think it is called, something like that, but a full-on detailed video about it. But yeah, that's where I sleep. Got me flannel. She been getting cold. Got me beanie, me longs. Got all them out. This is all the quad, all bolted on, strapped on. So this is usually the shower and toilet. So I've got the bazooka, the old heats up in the sun and that for your showers and stuff like that. You pump her up and she works well. I will do a review video on that just to give you a bit more of an idea of it, on how it works and if it, you know, it'll work for you and that. But yeah, for the moment, I just running my toilet in there. I'm not worrying about the shower because I'll either go for a dip in the dam or I also have a bazooka on the ute. Dundee, so I run a composting Dundee, bit of like a hybrid one. That one I can do either, and I will give you a bit of a look into that as well. I like it. It suits me to a T. It works a lot better than the chemical toilet for me in most spots. But yeah, I will give you a rundown on it. Made it myself. I got the top, but I trialed one. I literally made one to start off with because the tops, they're not cheap. But then when that worked for me, well then I actually went out and got the proper parts for it and got a actual one made up. Come around this side. So usually from here, obviously all this has got walls on it. So I've got a big window here. Over the other side, I've got a big window here. Door is usually in this spot here, and then another big window here. Like I said, when it gets cold and full on breezy more than anything, especially when I'm cooking inside with the gas, but now, like I said, it's going to be a bit of a game changer for me with the old induction, I think. But I don't really need the walls up at the moment. Unless it gets cold, then I possibly will. They're not a big job. They're not too bad. It is easier to leave them off. Around this side, bit of a pigsty in here at the moment. So this is where the toilet usually goes. So I've just got bits and pieces in there. The gas bottle, which hopefully possibly won't be in there for much longer, providing how I go. Still got a generator, so it's not so much going to be used this time of year because, well, it's not rainy season. And the thing that really kills me is obviously when your clouds come across, and I don't want to have to go for a drive to charge batteries, and I don't usually have to. Even when it is raining and that, it takes a few days for it to be constant cloudy before my batteries start going down. But yeah, that's why I got that there. It's easy to have, bit of a peace of mind. Maybe one day I'll see how we go, but yeah, it's just something. It's like having a spare tyre. You hope you never got to use it, but when you need it, you need it. Over here, so this is like a bit of a lawn locker down here. Tool shed, bits and pieces in there. Up top, these are just them things off your chairs that you get that hang off the side of your arms. I knew that'd be coming handy for something, so they got Velcro on the back. So obviously I've got the dowels here, so I've just gone and stuck them with that, and they are the best thing. They put just the easy things that I get to every now and then. Oh, how'd I be? You better not building this, wasp. But yeah, it's just good to have easy things in that you need to get to every now and then. Up here, you'll notice I just run bags. I don't want a drawer system. One, it just takes up too much room for me. I don't need slides. I don't need, all that sort of stuff made up, which is a bit more weight. And I changed my setup more than I changed my jocks. So it's like if I went something that was permanent, and if I wasn't happy with it, or if it didn't work for some reason, I couldn't change it. That's why I just went with bags. These are my own bags too. I got them, and I got crash pad bags, so which are brilliant. I run a lot of that. Another thing I'll do a review on for you is, but I've got the two big ones. One with me clothes, fits everything in there, linen, everything, not just clothes, and spares and stuff like that. Down here, powerhouse. So I've just got a DC to DC charger, a solar regulator, and that's a multi-plus, which is an inverter charger all in one, meaning AC charger and your inverter to change from 12 volt or 24 volt to 240 volt. Spare regulator, I will explain some of this, won't get right into it because I need to do a proper video on it for you. But this up here, so when I wanted to go induction, the setup I got right now, I wouldn't feel comfortable enough to use it. Like the inverter, it's only a 1400 watt inverter pretty much. Also, I don't want to change it because I spend enough money on doing that. But when these guys from EcoFlow, which, you know, they did contact me, I was over the moon, believe me. But yeah, so this is that one that I've had for a while. They have sent another littler one out. I'm going to show you. I use it for my laptop more than anything, but I'm trialing this one out to run the induction cooker. So instead of changing all that up, this is like a solar generator, they're called. So you can get the solar panels with them. And yeah, it's been good because what I've been doing, it's still trial and error. I still got to figure it out. That's why I've got it all set up at the moment now. But every spot can change. Here I've got sun pretty much all day. Probably go to another spot where I'm going to only have it for probably 6 hours. So it's just a learning thing. I've got to use it for quite a while before I can say, oh yeah, it works, because it's going to work here. But it might, you know, I might struggle in another spot. So the joys of doing this, I love it. But what I have been doing is I've kind of been piggybacking them off each other. So if this battery's come up first, what I'd do is I'd just use the AC. So it's got a built-in AC, so I'd just charge it off my main system, and it definitely draws a lot, but it brings that up a hell of a lot quicker than just running solar in it. And the spare solar I have for that, I'll disconnect it, and that's why this regulator's here. Plug it into that, and any one time I've got about, I think I have up to about 43 amps going into the battery, which I know I can have more because I have clocked them solar panels that I've got now pumping out about 37 to 39 amps. But because I've only got a 30 amp regulator, I didn't think I was going to go as much solar. It can only use the 30 amp, with the rest it's just dumping it, so it's a waste. So I need to get a 50. So right now I've got a 30 to 100, so 100 volts at 30 amps, but I need to go the 100 volts still, but at 50 amps. That's laid down the track. So that's why I'm running this other little 15 amp regulator. And yeah, I just run the EcoFlow solar panel into that, but it's already charged, and I think it's 11:30. Look at my hand like I've got a watch there. 11:30, yeah, in the morning. So, and that's already up there, and I think this must be up around about 80% now. 300 amp hour lithium I run. Like I said, I'm not going to go full detailed. Probably already have, but yeah, is how much I run. So 300 amp hour. Yeah. So like I said, if this is charged first, I can also, I've had this plugged into here, which is like having a generator plugged into it, or your mains, and then that there charges the system. That's quite capable. It does drop it obviously, but when it's early and I've got plenty of sun, well, there, I utilise it, whichever one I've got to. Moving over, spare tyres. Sleeper cab again. I'll give you a cheeky little look. Call me soft. I've only had it, this will be my first whole dry season, so first whole winter that I've had it. But I actually went out, I was camped up, what is it, out of Charters Towers, and I woke up one morning and there was just ice on the solar panel, and then far out, it was cold, it was freezing. And look, I can only carry so much heavy blankets. I've got this one, and I've got my crash pads sleeping bag, which is a heavy one, but I like to leave that rolled up in the swag. I don't want to have to take it out. And I've got a spare little one that always sits behind the seat of the ute just in case. But instead of having another big one to throw in here, extra weight, don't need all that. I just went out and got a little electric blanket. You know, it draws a little bit, but I have run it quite easily off the system I got. So it just warms the bed up, but it's good. It works. I'm not going to go a diesel heat or anything like that. Probably a little bit too much for me to go that far. I just want to make sure the bed warms, the bed is warm, and then that's it. That's all I need. So yeah, so I run a, what is it? Dream Making or something like that. It's an eBay jobby, but it had really good reviews, and it works. I've only just plugged it in today because last night I was laying there thinking, this is electric blanket, whether this, probably because I just got it there too, so I want to use it. But no, it was cold, and I don't do the cold too well, for those who know me. But yeah, so got that plugged in, she works, so it's going to be a wicked night tonight, looking forward to it. Up here, I made this bracket, so I've got the Starlink I did do a video on it, a review video. I will do another one because it was when I first got it. I've got it plugged in here again now, which I don't get normal cell phone service here, so everything you see is running off this. I made a little bracket so I can sit in there, but yeah, it's going good. Yeah, in the back of the quad, so you got the solar. That's the main solar. So this is the solar. Like I said, I've got a video on this as well if you want to see. I do have video on the solar setup. So this is the main one for the camper trailer. I just got this one. So this is the one I'll most likely be running that the EcoFlow, the Delta off to power the induction cooker. That's a 220, and then I've got the 160, which is plugged into the ute, plus I've got the 100 up there. And like I said too, the best thing about this is right now I've got all that solar and all this solar here purely just charging our camper trailer because the little power pack is fully charged. So here, clothesline, I can run a string in the trees. Yeah, definitely did that for many years. Sometimes trees aren't in the right spot for you, and everything I got, I just want to make sure it's my own footprint and I can set it up. I don't have to worry about making sure it's, you know, I get to a spot and yeah, there's a tree there and that spot, blah, blah, blah. So this is actually off one of them old shower cubicles. The material just shit itself, and because it's set up 24/7. But when it died, I had the framework and I'm thinking, oh, I don't want to waste it. I think I held on for this for about a year or so. Then I thought, brilliant. I'm making a clothesline, so that's what I did. So yeah, same with the shower cubicle. Instead I did it for a long time, but the other one I had, when I first got one, I used to just hang it from trees until my uncle made me a bracket off the side of the camper trailer where it could swing out and I can hang it off the camper trailer. So I wasn't, same thing, having to look for that perfect tree. So I stuck with that and did the same thing for this. So it just hangs, that slides back in, and that there folds up flat and actually sits underneath the bazooka up front of that box and stays in there, that whole shower cubicle. And the ute. Bit of a mess at the moment. Like I said, I've got the chainsaw out. I'm ready to go cut some wood. That's Dodger's little bed, but most times she just sleeps out with me outside of the camper trailer, chills out. She's a good girl. I tie her up in some spots, definitely. But you know, most of the night time and that, but most spots, come out spots like this. And I'm not worried about her. I'm worried about someone or something coming to the camp. So that's why I know if she's on the chain, yeah, can't do too much. But yeah, storage, chainsaw, around here, the army trunk. Most time that army trunk's empty. It's just when I going shopping and that, I do a quick shop. If I'm fully loaded on the road, open up this, groceries and go straight into the trunk. Handy trunk. I put water in it for spots, filled it up with groceries, firewood, everything. It's good. Over here, to the moment, this is the ute setup. So I've got a 15 litre angle in the front, which is just when I'm on the road, cold water, stuff like that. But also when I am camped out of the ute, the 15 litre is my actual fridge, and I use the 30, depending on how long I'm going for, use the 30 for our freezer, or vice versa. They can be used for anything, both fridge or both freezer. This is me set up in here. Just got more crash pad bags, more, yeah, just your normal bags. A bit of a pantry, the battery. I've got 150 amp hour lithium in this one, and my cranking battery, and that's all I got on the ute. Travel buddy, so 12 volt oven. Got me stereo, which I'd be having pumping now, but I don't want a copyright strike. I said I've got the bazooka, so another shower on this one. Spare solar panel up there, so that always trickle charges, that goes non-stop. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Gotta go and do my chores now. I've got to go and get some firewood, that's for certain. Yeah, all right then.